In July 2020, we will open A Wild Note of Longing, Albert Pinkham Ryder and a Century of American Art. The show will bring together works from Albert Pinkham Ryder, New Bedford's native son, who achieved legendary status among artists during his lifetime. We are so excited for this exhibition, which will be the first since the 1990s at the Smithsonian American Art Museum.
So most people know him as a New York artist, but he actually spent the first 20 years of his life in New Bedford. But also what's really important is it's the first exhibition of his work in any major capacity for 30 years. This is our landscape piece that was purchased at Christie's in 2005. We also have his easel, which is incredibly special. New Bedford, like any other major city in the mid-19th century through the end of the 19th century, was certainly one of the most wealthy cities in the country. And because of that, there was a lot of wealth to support the arts. So many of our artists, including Robert Swin Gifford, C.H. Gifford, William Bradford, Albert von Beast, these artists had a national and international reputation during their own lifetimes and afterwards. And they were part of Ryder's group.
Major artists all were impacted by Ryder in one way or another. His impact, his influence is really that vast. In fact, it forms a separate chapter in American art. Of course, Ryder is perhaps most famous for what's now called the Ryder Moon. In fact, in Pollock did a whole series of a moon-related picture. Many of the abstract expressions were deeply taken by Ryder.
Interestingly, Ryder's reputation has gone up and down over the decades. He was hugely revered while he was alive, especially in his late years, almost a cult figure for early modern painters. Painters have always found something very special in his process, the way he applies paint, the way he trusts the paint to carry the message, to carry the emotional content of the work. And so down to today, even today, there are contemporary artists who revere Albert Pinkham Ryder and swear that he is the one who best represents their ideals, their sense of materials and process, and their approach to how painting functions in a broader society. It's really all about maintaining ideals and values in the world. Late in his life, Ryder became hugely important to the emerging early modern artists in the Stieglitz circle. One was Arthur Dove. Maybe the most important Ryder advocate was Marsden Hartley, but all the avant-garde artists of that generation, of the teens and 20s, really found Ryder to be a kind of exemplar of what they were trying to do. They were trying to create a newly spiritual, idealized approach to art in the middle of a very gilded age, a very materialistic world. And so the Stieglitz circle, was full of people who championed Ryder as kind of the example, the old man who showed what could be done with painting.
As stewards of our region's history, the New Bedford Whaling Museum is honored to have a Ryder in our own collection, and we're even more proud to be able to tell his story. We hope you'll join us this summer as we dive deep into the world of Ryder.